Right. Hi, everybody. Hopefully, you've all managed to join on the call. Everything's good. We're all good to go. So, for those that I've not met before, my name's Colin, and I'm one of the learning consultants in the learning development team. And today's session is we're going to be looking at in the next hour or so at the customer experience. So, what that actually means within our practices, what it means to us, and how we can really help sort of support our practice, the patient journey from end to end. So, we're going to be looking at a bit of reflection on things of our interpretation of customer experience, and then also looking at what does that actually mean, how does that then translate into our practice. So a couple of housekeeping things. We will be stopping for a break later in the session. It's a workshop, so I'd love for you guys to get involved. You can do that by either raising your hand and coming off mute and sharing your insights or questions or experiences, or of course you can use the chat function should you wish. Everyone all right with that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, lovely.
Brilliant. Let's get started. So in the session today, we're going to be looking at, outlining the opportunities available throughout the customer journey. So we're going to break it down and look at each of the stages and look at where things can go well, where things could be better, and really sort of ideas out the box, how we can really push that forward. We're going to look at our core values through each of these stages. So how do we represent the core values of brave, caring and responsible? And how do they then sort of live through the service that we deliver? And how does that translate to our end customers and patients? We're then going to have a look at how we can turn complaints into positive experiences by taking what's been then shared by our customers and patients and looking at actually what it is they're sharing, the gift that what there is you're sharing, and how we can then improve things moving forward, and then understand the steps into how to manage customer expectations. So before we delve into all of that, a quick question to you. What does customer experience actually mean to you? If you had to summarize customer experience, if you had to explain it to someone, how would you explain it? That's open to anyone. Becky?
I'd say it's about how a company or a company and a team make you feel as you're like experiencing what they're delivering, I suppose. So in our business, you know, as you walk into the practice, your experience from as you walk into the door to as you're received on reception to then brought into, you know, have your treatment, it's every part of that experience to then aftercare, like you know, the emails you receive, it's the whole thing. So it's how I feel as a customer, experience that whole thing.
Brilliant. And I think one of the key terms there is that feeling. It's how you feel, isn't it, throughout that? So it's not necessarily sort of the different process as such. It's more about how you feel throughout that process. Rachel, you had your hand up there. Anything you want to add?
No, Becky took the words right out of my mouth. It's how a business or company makes somebody feel. It's the long-lasting impression that we leave on somebody.
Brilliant. Anyone else?
I think the two of them have summed it up brilliantly.
Thank you. So hold that thought then on how you feel. I'm going to show you an advert now. One of the current adverts that we have out there represents us as a business. And of course, this is taken from the whole of Bupa, so to speak. And I just want you to think about when watching this advert, what does it make you think? What does it make you feel? What's the impression you've got of this business? Like what kind of things throw out and stay to mind when it comes to watching this and thinking about the service that we then deliver. So I'm just going to play the video. Hopefully you can all hear. If you just give me a thumbs up to let me know that you can hear it okay. And yeah, just think about how this, what's you taking from this advert?
We used to think health was white coats and stethoscopes. That was then.
So what's the initial thoughts when we're watching that advert? What does that say to you? What does that, Tanya?
I mean, all aspects of life are shown there, aren't they? Like that for me is shown that Bupa affects everyone. It can be a part of everyone's life, no matter if you've got a You
Oh,
lost
sorry,
me in my
Tanya,
back.
we lost you there a bit. Yeah,
Apologies, I've got the worst
can you
Wi-Fi.
share that
I
again?
was just
Sorry.
saying, yeah, that for me, it was almost reassuring because that showed that Bupa connects with people no matter what their life is, what they're dealing with, whether they've got children or a partner or they're at work. It really brought loads of different lives into one advert there. That was reassuring. It was nice.
Rachel?
It was really nice to watch. It was really positive. The music was really lovely. Everyone was really smiley. So yeah, it left me feeling good.
So it's very inclusive. Like Tanya said, you can see everybody from all different walks of life. So like she said, it's just inclusive of everybody, no matter who you are.
Brilliant. And then looking at that sort of advert then and thinking about like how it then makes you feel, what kind of things is that saying to you? If you walk into any kind of Bupa, whether it be the insurance over the phone or whether it be one of our clinics, or especially more so for us in dental care, what what do you think what the customer expectation is? What's that advert going to give what is that advert going to sort of portray when it comes to our set perceptions from a customer perspective? Tom?
Yeah, the first thing that pops into my head is caring, that, you know, Bupa will care for you is kind of the main thing which you'd expect from a healthcare provider, but it's done in a really modern twist. But I think it all goes around with the caring angle.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone else?
It sets the bar. Oh, sorry, I didn't put my hand up. Sorry, Tanya. Sorry, I'm still going to butt in. It sets the bar really high in terms of what patients are expecting from us or customers when they walk through the door. That is already a preconception of what Bupa is going to look and feel like.
Absolutely. Tanya?
I would expect to be supported in whatever it was that I was dealing with by that, because to hark back to the earlier point, if I'm anyone in any walk of life, Bupa has said that that's for me and they'll be there. So
Yeah, definitely. Becky?
Just a small one to add. I think it just makes it would make me feel really invited. Like it feels very, I think like Rach said, it's colourful, it's friendly, it's open, it's exciting. I would imagine that portrayed in a practice as that being the overall feel of the practice as well, like being open and inviting, and you want to go in. It's not going to be dingy, and it's going to have like, you know, bright lighting and clean and, you know, nice place to sit.
Yeah, absolutely. And these are all great things, and this is exactly kind of, well, not kind of, but this is what our customers are expecting when they walk through our door. So they're expecting that inclusivity, they're expecting that friendly service, they're expecting that sort of warm, welcoming, inviting atmosphere. And that's what we need to bear in mind when we look at our customer and patient journey. How do we then portray that throughout? And we've got to remember as well as we are part of the wider Bupa. So then how do we then fit into that connected care across all our different areas? Are they getting the same kind of experience when they come from one of our clinics into our dental practices? And we're really looking at the sort of opportunities we can then sort of pull into our practices to make sure that customer journey, that experience is felt throughout. So we're going to go into the customer journey now and really sort of dissect each of these stages to have a look at, opportunities where we can sort of get it right and opportunities where we might not necessarily get it right now, but where we can then improve on in the future. So it's one of the things that it's a key thing of any kind of customer service, that it's harder to come back from bad service than it is to offer it. So, and we're only as good as a sort of weakest link. So what we need to think about is that is a continued chain right the way throughout. So that's coming in, the patient coming in through the doors, and you can see there on the screen, it's that welcoming our patient, our customer, the appointment. So again, whether they go into the actual surgery, spend time with the clinician and the nurse, then what happens after the appointment, and of course then that fantastic goodbye. So each of those stages, then we need to make sure that that is felt. So the key terms that we were saying there about it being friendly, about it being inclusive, welcoming, that needs to be felt throughout, because at one point where it's not, it's then harder for that next person to then regain that customer's trust, to regain that sort of level of service for that customer and patient as they go through this journey. So I'm going to break you into groups. It's just going to be a quick one. And I just want you to think about some of the things where we can look at each of these stages and get things right. So looking at actions, things that we can do currently in the team or what we could do more of, just to really bring this to life, to make sure that customers felt welcomed, felt engaged, inclusive, and kept that sort of feeling of this is the right place to be throughout that patient and customer journey. What I will say to you is this is not necessarily blue sky thinking. As much as we'd love to get to that stage, what we're looking at now is the reality of where we're at. So what can we actually do in the here and now? What can we take action from? So I'm going to make this just a quick 5 minutes, if that's all right for everybody. And what I'll do is I'm going to give Tom, Lottie and Rachel, I'd like you guys to look at welcoming our patient and the appointment.
Yep.
And then that hands over to Becky and Tanya, if you guys can have a look at following the appointment and a fantastic goodbye. So what things we can put into practice there to really help that feeling of welcoming and that level of customer experience right the way throughout. Any questions?
Okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So I'll bring you back just around, say, 20 past.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Slowly moving off. Hopefully we've not lost Tanya there. She
Is
went
that
very
slow?
quickly.
There we go.
Are we all back?
We're back.
Yeah.
Yes,
Brilliant.
we are.
Super. Hopefully there was some good conversations there. So we'll start from the beginning. So Tom and Lottie and Rachel, you guys had welcoming our customer and patient and the appointment. What kind of things did we come up with here?
So we put smile at the patient and acknowledge them, even if you're on the phone, because there is a lot of times when you're on the phone and someone will appear. So even if it's just a little eye contact or a smile, so making sure you do make that initial contact. Clear communication, so speaking clearly and making sure that you're focused on the patient and not whatever's going on around you. There's normally something going on. Clean and tidy reception area. Don't want it cluttered. You want chairs free for people to sit on, that type of thing. If it's been raining outside, it might be nice to offer to take wet clothes and hang them up out the way. Point to radiators and make sure if you do have a drink station that there are drinks available as well.
Lovely. Great. Anyone anything else to add? What about that transition from welcoming the patient, so the reception, to the appointment? What kind of things could we consider there? What things actually happen currently? And do we think that's like a great service, or could it be added to?
Well, normally the dental nurse will come out and collect the patient by calling a name and doing it that way. I think that's general practice across all practices, unless anyone's experience different.
Yeah, the only
No, I
time
think
we
that's
would
pretty cool.
experience different, we if we had a larger treatment in something like an implant patient or something like that, you might have like a coordinator step in and do that for the dentist and nurse. If they're all scrubbed up and in surgery, you might have another member of the team, if available, kind of guide them up, a receptionist, a TCO, someone like that.
Brilliant. But it's that acknowledgement, and like you say, the drink station. I love the idea of hanging up the wet clothes and stuff. I suppose that's not necessarily something that, like, we'd all think about, but actually a great level of service. But having them, showing them where the actual waiting area is, and then that nurse, sorry, coming to collect them. I think it's that engagement there as well, that smile, the eye contact, all these kind of things need to take place when that nurse is coming out to collect that person. Because again, it's a continuation of that service. It's a acknowledgement of thanks for waiting, and then moving them into the actual appointment itself. Becky, Tanya, what did you guys about following the appointment and the fantastic goodbye? What kind of things were we thinking about there?
We said that kind of as you come back out of the appointment, it sort of mirrors the welcome when you come in. You need to have that kind of smile. You need to be the reception team, or whoever you're walking up to, needs to engage with you before you engage with them almost. That's what I want to be done. I want them to take control a little bit and say, oh, hi, brilliant, what's your name? Let me just get the next steps for you. So they're controlling that process and you feel looked after, rather than kind of looking around for someone to talk to and not really know what you're doing and know where to go. They need to take control over that bit.
Brilliant. And that fantastic goodbye, what kind of things do we need to think about there? What's a key sort of focus for us right now in practice?
We love the idea of doing follow-ups as well. So, kind of making sure that somebody's got everything that they need following that appointment. Do they need a copy of a treatment plan? Do they need sort of cost breakdowns? Do they need any further appointments kind of booking in? Have they had a treatment? You need to maybe give them a courtesy call the next day just to check in and say, I know you had a big treatment yesterday. How are you feeling? Is everything going okay for you? And just really reaffirming that we're here for them. We had a chat about giving your name even and saying, look, if you've got any questions, anything that you need after this appointment, my name's Tanya, give me a call. I'm more than happy to kind of follow things up for you, and getting any further appointments booked in that they might need as well. Even if it's something routine, say, look, I know you're going to come back in 6 months. Should we get that sorted in your diary now? Then you've got something booked. So just really making sure that person feels like, okay, this might be the end of this appointment, but it's not the end. We're still here.
Love that. It's like you've done it before. It's definitely, yeah. It is. It's that continued service. It's being the proactive rather than reactive, isn't it? Instead of having the customer having to ask, we're already offering that level of service, the things that we can then do. Lottie's done a brilliant job of summarising some of the points there. Thank you, Lottie. Appreciate that. So great points to think about. So it really helps us look at our then throughout customer and patient journey.